Carlos Ramirez, owner of NVS Audio in Roselle, New Jersey. So I've been waiting to do this video for months now. I've had a prototype from the guys over at Sound Digital that I wasn't allowed to talk about. Everything is very hush-hush. This is definitely a game changer. It comes out just in time for all the winter projects, all the bikes getting rebuilt for next season. And it came out at a perfect time, actually, because Team Money Cycles and SOS just changed the rules for major changes in lightweight and featherweight. So this amp's gonna do really well in those changes because we now have the smallest footprint 3000.1 we have ever gotten our hands on. It is the size of the EVOX 2400.4. So now I know guys are gonna be putting a bunch of these amps in the fairing. These guys were doing amazing things with the 3000 Nano and the 3000 EVOX. I've seen in a bunch of fairings, we've done it ourselves. Now with an amplifier, it's 30 or 40% smaller and still does the same power. It's going to be crazy to see what these guys come up with. We tested it on a street glide. So if you're running an aftermarket Sony radio, a Sony 7000, you can actually fit an EVOX 2400 and a 3000.1 in the fairing. Absolute craziness. I can't believe this. So this is the new EVOX 3000.1. One of my favorite changes is they brought back full range. So it's a 3000.1 full range, but if you're not going to run it full range, you hit a switch on it, and then it allows you to do up to 500 hertz. So it'll do between 20 and 500 hertz. So it's awesome. We've tested it. We've been beating it up for a while. We've been using it as a test amp for a while, and it's performed great. Let me show you what this amp looks like. Okay, a lot of people are complaining when they made the new 3000.1 that it was no longer full range, but they've solved this problem now. They've added a switch on the amplifier, so you can make the amplifier full range, or you can make the amplifier low frequency only, so it won't play above 500 hertz. I like the way that they did it, and I threw it up on the RTA to make sure that it did play full range, and it does. So that's low pass, full range, low pass, just by hitting the switch. So the amplifier is a true full range amplifier. As with most Brazilian amplifiers, it's better at playing the higher frequencies. You start getting roll off around 60 hertz. I'll show you again on the screen. So obviously, like most full range amplifiers, they're stronger on the higher end than they are on the bass. But that's what the EVOX is designed for. That's stronger on the bass, and it doesn't do the higher end. But this little beast will let you do both. It'll run some subwoofers. It'll run 4 10-inch full range. It'll run 4 8s. It'll run whatever you need it to run. Been beaten up for a while and still cool to the touch. There it is. It's a prototype, so it has no label on it, but it's exactly the same chassis as the 2400.4. I'm gonna have one of the guys bring me a tape measure. Somebody grab me a tape measure so I can show you exactly how small this amplifier is. Now, as I was doing this test, I realized that I didn't have any test woofer powerful enough to be able to take this damn amplifier. So we have to crack open one of the Ground Zero 2500 watt woofers, because I didn't want to blow up one of my test woofers during this test running 3,000 watts through it. So, got a tape measure here. The amplifier with the mounting feet and the wiring connection is 9 inches by 5.5 inches by 2 inches tall. Incredible. Literally the same size as the 2400. Big power, small chassis. That's what it looks like compared to the 800. Just a little bit longer than the 800 and 1200. It's really similar in size to the 1200, just a little bit longer. Insane the amount of power. And we've tested it. It does every bit of rated power. So at 100 hertz.
100 hertz.
So we have 55 volts before clipping. So 55 volts.
100 hertz.
Is 3,025 watts at 100 hertz. Let's test it a couple different frequencies. Let's see what it does at 400 hertz.
400 hertz.
Obviously at higher frequencies we're going to get more power, so we're at 56, 57 volts. So we got 3,200 watts that time. I don't think it's going to do 1,000 hertz because of the inductance of the subwoofer, but we'll try. Wow. 66 volts AC without clipping. 4,300 watts at 800 hertz. Let's try that again. So at 1,000 hertz. 1,000 hertz.
1,000 hertz.
66 volts AC at 1,000 hertz. 66 times 66 divided by 1 ohm. 4,300 watts out of a 3,000 watt amp. Let's see what else we can get out of it. Oh, the inductance of the coil is keeping the power down, so we can only get 44 volts, which is still a ton of power. 44 times 44. So we're right around 2,000 watts. That's only the inductance of the subwoofer limiting the output. If you're using a mid-range speaker, you'd get between 3,000 and 4,000 watts. Now let's drop it down low and see what it does. Try not to blow up my woofer, so let's drop it to 50 hertz.
50 hertz.
50 hertz. We'll call that 49 volts AC. 49. times 49. 2400 watts at subwoofer frequency.
50 hertz.
Obviously, if we let it go into clipping, a lot more power, but those numbers don't count to me. But I think this amp did great. It's averaging 3000 watts RMS from 40 hertz all the way up to 2500 hertz. So as usual, amplifier does rated power. Super tiny chassis. I've already ordered a bunch of them. We have 20 pieces on their way in because this is going to be a top seller for us. So what more can you ask for? Tiny amplifier. It's 9 inches by 5 inches by 2 inches, doing over 3000 watts RMS, especially into a set of 10-inch or pair of 8-inch mid-bass drivers in the bags or bag, whatever combination you want, this amplifier will do it. 4-gauge power inputs, clip indicators, which I love, and then something that's new that's huge for us. It has a input for a bass knob, so you no longer have to use a universal controller and run RCA in and back out. You can just plug the Sound Digital level control bass knob directly into the amplifiers. It's got a clip indicator. As a matter of fact, let me grab one of the bass knobs because we have it in stock and hook it up and show you how well it works. So there's the new level controller. It's nice and small, and it can be taken apart. It's just a small circuit board in there. We've already taken it apart and done remote mounts with it. This works on all the EVOX amplifiers. So the current EVOX and the EVOX2, which this 3000.1 is, and the 1600.1 that's coming out. So check it out. As soon as the clip indicator on the amp lights up, it will also light up here. So if you have the bass knob mounted in your fairing, you can remove the LEDs and flush them in somewhere so you can see them from the front. That way you don't have to have the tour pack open, so when the clip indicator on the amp lights up, you'll immediately know to back down on the gain. As soon as the amp indicator lit up, the knob indicator lit up.
100 hertz.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. These, I think these are 29, 30 bucks. Super, super easy to install. We normally have to run an RCA in and back out and figure out. This one's just a regular phone jack cable, simple mount. Sound Digital is doing great things. I'm loving it. So in closing, what more could you ask for? Small footprint. Same chassis as a previous amplifier. So if you have 2400.4s that you've been using to mock up, it's the same. So if you could start building the amp racks now until these amps come out, because it's literally the same exact size as 2400.4 EVOX. So you're talking 2 amplifiers in the fairing, damn near 6000 watts RMS, small footprint, powerful, reliable, optional bass knob, clip indicator, full range or low pass only. What more can you ask for? I mean, I know we're gonna be selling a lot of them. I've been beating this thing up for the past few months, and it's worked really good. Every speaker I've tested since it was already hooked up on the test bench, I just used it. So we've got some miles on this thing, and it hasn't. I'm really surprised how cool it runs, because Sound Digital amps are infamous for running hot. They don't shut off, they don't thermal, but they do run hot. I guess they had enough heatsink to keep this thing cool, because I know the 800s run super hot. They don't shut off, but they run super hot. This thing, after running test tones through it for a couple hours now, super cool to the touch. But great job, Sound Digital. 2 thumbs up. I strongly recommend this amplifier. It's not going to be a replacement for the EVOX 3000 because I trust bigger amplifiers. So if I got the room, I'm going to use an EVOX 3000. As long as they keep them current, it doesn't go away. But if I need the space, I'm going to go for the smaller chassis. I just believe that if you have bigger heatsink and a bigger fan, it's going to cool better. But I'm not afraid to run these puppies. It's proven itself to me, and I literally have 20 of these things on order as soon as they come out. They've made a believer out of me, so it's 2 thumbs up.